Wow, no problems. Okay, people are going to join in and I will welcome them. People in the studio, you can come to a seated position and just start arriving into the moment, and just breathe and relax and let everything in your body just say, hello, I'm here. And now it's official. Hello, people of the internet. It's Monday morning, Mystic Fitness, Hot Flow with Nissa. People in the studio and out of the studio. Make sure you practice your own self and not someone else's. Okay? So start breathing, relaxing your belly. And when I say relaxing the belly, I mean not collapsing into it, but rather helping the belly be soft, coming into inhales and exhales, and holding some space from behind, from the core behind, by tucking the tailbone in. You can even try it a few times. Let yourself go and try breathing, and you'll see how contracted that is, as opposed to lifting the pelvis and letting then the belly breathe. And with each inhale, deepen that inhalation, that movement of expansion. And with every exhalation, push that belly in, maybe bringing the navel a little bit up. And again. Keep on working on your breath, trying to work also on the seams between inhalation and exhalation, so it's one big movement. And next time you inhale, try to bring that expansion onto the chest and release. And once more, inhalation, belly first, and then bring it up to the chest, maybe even lifting the head a little bit and uncurling the shoulders back. And let it go same way. First top, midsection, and belly. 2 more times. Inhale, belly, chest, maybe collarbones. And release. Last breath. Inhale. And exhale. And now release all effort and come to a more calm breathing or a natural breathing. And set your own private and personal intention for the practice. And on your next inhale, open your eyes and smile. And start circling your shoulders a little bit. Doesn't matter which direction, we're going to do the opposite. And if it feels nice, then add the head a little bit. Just explore. And then switch direction of the shoulder rolling. And then start bringing the hands up, lifting them, lowering the shoulders nicely and calm. And start bending from side to side. Don't go deep. Just stretch the upper rib area under your armpit. Don't go deep to the lower back yet. And I like to push those elbows back. That ensures that my chest is open. And then on the next time you're on the right side, lower your right hand. Inhale, stretch, and then indeed come lower. But make sure two things are happening. Your sitting bones are on the mat and your elbow is back. You can even look up. On your next exhale, come on back to center slowly. Take it to the other side. Again, hand on the mat. Inhale, stretch first forward, up, and then start bending. And take your time. With every breath, we're here for about 1 or 2 breaths. With every breath, you go deeper, but you are still supporting yourself. And come on back up. Take a twist to the right. By the way, I'm not mirroring you, people in the studio, so I'm always opposite to you. Lower those shoulders. Don't go forward, go back. So stack your spine over your pelvis. And then take it to the other side. Again, don't sway to sides. Stack the spine over your pelvis and then twist. Shoulders down. Breathe. Bring it back to center. Walk the hands forward. Stretch your shoulders and release the head. So here you can actually crunch the shoulders up and then lowering down, a few of those, while the head is just hanging, or maybe on the mat, whatever is comfortable to you. Just a few of those. And on your next inhale, bring the palms of your hands to the mat. Bring the knees, roll them forward. Open those legs and come to a wide table, wide-legged table. Straight away, start circling those hips. Again, no matter what direction. This is an exploration, but also a check-in with your body. That huge joint of the hips is telling you what kind of a day we're having today. And if it is stiff a little bit, then work it with love and breath. Don't traumatize your body. Don't expect it to do things right away. And then switch directions. And again, you can enlarge the movement or make it as small as you want. You can come all the way down to child's pose, or all the way forward, maybe moving the hands a little bit forward and dropping the hips. Make it your own warm-up. Maybe swaying from side to side on the mat. Anything that feels sweet and good. 2 more breaths here. Anywhere you are. And then meet me back in table, bringing those knees inward this time, tucking the toes under, and bringing the bum onto your heels. Stretch those feet. If you are comfortable here, you can try a little bit of movement. If not, stay still and warm your wrists. So anything goes. Circling the wrists, opening, closing the hands a few times. Maybe stretching the inside of the hands by pulling the fingers with the other hand back. It's a beautiful stretch. Feels really good, actually. And then the other hand, obviously. And whatever you need, do. Whatever you need. It could be moving the head a few times. It could be interlacing the fingers and shooting the hands up. And bending to the sides a little bit. Nice. Bring yourself back to table, untuck those toes and tap, tap, tap. And come to child's pose. A wholesome breath in child's pose. Come back to the intention of the practice. Release all negative thoughts and feelings. Just let them be. Come back to table. Tuck your toes under and lift those knees to a hover. Now try this modification of cats and cows, but if you don't like it, then lower the knees. So we're just doing cats and cows with knees hovering, okay? That's all there is here. So we're engaging the core, but at the same time, warming the spine. If it's too much, lower the knees. Just enjoy this for 2 more breaths. Here again, you can move from side to side, sway, and release the knees. Come over your wrists a little bit. Just push into your wrists a little bit. Warm them up, maybe move from side to side, sway from side to side, pushing the wrists in and the fingers too. And then come back to that hover of the knees and shoot that left leg back in the air while the right knee is hovering. Then bend the left leg into your chest and push it under your right hand diagonally. Straighten the legs. So if you ever, yes, perfect. Now, if you have ever a question, just look at me. You can push back a little bit, push those hips back through your fingers and your wrists. Beautiful stretch here. Then bend both legs again, bring it to a hover. Breathe. Once again, shoot the right leg back, straighten it behind you, then bring it to your chest, and then under your left, to the left, straightening the legs. Again, push those hips back, stretching everything here. Yep. What Corina is doing is beautiful. You can even lift a hand if you feel comfortable. And bend both knees, bring them back to that hover. Release the knees, come to child's pose. A wholesome breath here. And now walk the hands to the right on the mat. Stretch that other half of the body. Breathe. And then walk the hands to the center and to the left. Wholesome breath, letting go, but feeling the fire building up. Bring the hands back to center. Tuck those toes under and shoot up for downward dog. Downward dog, option to stay with the knees bent. Don't have to straighten your legs. And then just walk the dog. Lower one heel down at a time. Enjoying this half inversion. And then start checking your upper body. Release the neck completely. Roll those shoulders away from your ears and start pushing those hips even more to the back with every step. And at some point, bring those legs to stillness, but open that back. Say yes and no to make sure the head is hanging. And then bend your knees plenty. Look forward, walk to meet your hands. Forward fold, bend the knees completely. Release the belly on top of your thighs.
Release the hands, release the neck. Complete inactive pose for the upper body. On your next inhale, bring both forearms to your thighs. So I'm kind of sitting or pushing into my thighs. On your next inhale, straightening the left leg, opening the left hand to the sky, kind of a twist. Now the work here is pushing those hips back. It's a nice twist when you do that. One more breath here. And on the exhale, bend the knee and sweep that hand down again. Take it to the other side, straightening the right leg, opening the right hand to the sky. And now 2 breaths, work that. Pushing of the hip back, opening the chest, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale, exhale, sweep the hand back down, bend the knees. Release both hands down, and on your next inhale, come all the way up to a standing Tadasana, mountain pose, either heart center, hands in heart center, or extended. Take a deep breath here. Every time you come up after an inversion, be respectful. You need to reset before going anywhere. Inhale, circle sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. First coming to this beautiful halfway lift, and then bending the knees and rounding the back, taking care of your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. So engage the core, hold it here. We're going to be here for a few breaths. Don't lock the knees, but push those hips back as we did before in the half twist. Now hands can come over your head. That adds some spice to this pose. And just roll the shoulders down. Look down. Breathe. Don't stop your breath, but engage the core as much as you can. Suck the belly in. On your next exhale, bend your knees forward to a forward fold. Bring the hands to the mat. Walk the legs to plank. So that's a way to make halfway lift a power pose. Every time I say plank, you can lower your knees. So now we are staying in plank, but you have the option to modify. Tuck that tailbone in and straighten your chest. Roll those shoulders down so your scapulas, your shoulder blades are straight behind you. You're not rounding your back. You're engaging everything you've got. And then release yourself slowly to the mat. Untuck the toes. And on your next inhale, come to baby cobra, activating the legs first, then the glutes. Lifting up. Release. One more time. Engage the legs. Come up. Release. Last time. Engage the legs. Maybe this time come up and lift those hands. So you're sure to be working with your muscles and not pushing through the hands. One more breath. Release with your exhale. Push to table. Push to child's. Hold some breath here. Always, always take a minute to catch your breath. On your next exhale, just push back up to table and take your time tucking the toes under and setting up in downward dog again. Do whatever you need to do, like walking the dogs, or option, just lift the heels and drop them to one side and then drop the hips down. It's a nice side stretch. Option to bend the knees or not. Some suggestions. You can try them out and decide what works for you. And with your breath, at some point come to stillness. Release the neck, Roll shoulders away from your ears. Suck the belly in and push those hips back. Not up, back. On your next inhale, bend your knees plenty. Look forward, maybe hop or walk to meet your hands. Forward fold, a little bit more of an intensive stretch here. You can hold your legs from the behind of them, heels or shins or calves, sorry, and start straightening the legs a little bit, and at the same time pulling yourself in with your head and your hands. And maybe bending the knees and pulling again. Release the pull, bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Circle, sweep the hands to the sky and bring them to heart center. Tuck the tailbone in every time you're standing. Roll the shoulders down, open your chest, come back to the yoga. On your next inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Round your back at the end. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Maybe jump to plank, and if you're doing it, do it softly. Chaturanga Dandasana is next if you choose. If not, then do baby cobra as we did before. Push forward over the wrists. Halfway down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths to reset in downward dog. On your next inhale, right leg goes up in the air. Lift the back heel. Bend the leg into your chest. Then push yourself over your wrists. Hold it here. Then flex the foot and step it in between your hands. Transition is a pose. Now leave the right hand outside of your right foot and lower that back heel as if you're coming to warrior 2, but we're not. We're just going to open left hand to the sky and drop those hips. So it's a different kind of twist. You may want to tent your fingers or use a block. But the activation of the pose is dropping the hips, opening the chest, looking up. Nice. Now, using your core and your breath, come up to warrior 2. Left hand coming back. Nice. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior. Stay here for 2 breaths. Come back to warrior 2, this time coming to side angle. So forearm to the thigh, front thigh, open the left hand to the side, and keep on opening. We're working on the side and core. So keep on opening that beautiful side, rolling the shoulders down. Don't collapse into your forearm. In fact, if you want a challenge, lift it up. On your next exhale, come back to warrior 2. Lift the back heel. Rotate the hips to the front. Frame the front leg. Push the right leg back to plank. And breathe. Chaturanga Dandasana is next. Push forward. Halfway down. Untuck your toes, upward dog. Slow and with your breath. Tuck your toes under, exhale, downward dog. Take 2 breaths. And next inhale, left leg goes up. Lift the back heel. Bend the leg to your chest. Push forward and hold for a moment, just to feel that strength. Then flex the foot and step it in between your hands. Adjust. Leave the left hand outside of your left foot, maybe tenting the fingers, maybe not. And then lower that back heel so you can rotate the hips and be stable, and open the right hand to the sky. Then the small work of dropping the hips. I hope you can see those little subtle movements. I always keep my knee stacked over your heel, or my heel. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, and on your next inhale, use core and shoot that right hand back to come to warrior two. Adjust the feet if you need. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior. 2 breaths here, so make it count. And come back to warrior two, side angle. So forearm to thigh, right hand to the sky, and now small work. Push those hips forward, engage the glutes, lower those shoulders. You want a challenge? Lift that left hand in front of you. One more breath. Warrior two. Lift the back heel, rotate hips to the center, frame the front hands, the front leg with the hands, and push the left leg back to plank. 3 breaths here, just holding, tucking tailbone in, making the back a plank. Think of a glass of water being put on your back in between your shoulder blades, and you have to keep it there. Beautiful. Release the knees to the mat, untuck your toes, and come to a modified upward dog, releasing the thighs to the mat. Push those shoulders down. Maybe look up. And then come back to child's pose and take a breather. Drink some water. Use your towel. I know I need it. There is a moment in every class which I am downward dog and my sweat is pouring into my eyes. And then I start like, oh, salty. So yes, I've reached it. That's my point. And whenever you're ready, set yourself back into downward dog, pushing those hips up and back, enjoying the stretch. Again, option here to stretch the side of the body any way and how you like. Bending the knees, dropping the hips, or not. Such a strengthening movement. And indeed, at some point, come to stillness in downward dog. Take a deep breath and let it go. On your next inhale, right leg goes up in the air, shoots up to the air. Lift the back heel, bend the leg. This time, do it in a flow and step it straight away in between your hands. Now, start lowering the back heel to the mat as far as you can. It's maybe not going to touch the mat today. And then start straightening the front leg, trying to get that heel back by lifting the front foot. So what I'm doing is I'm bending the front leg, lifting the toes, trying to get that back heel to the mat. Do that a few times, square the hips. So a few things are happening here. We're stretching the hamstrings, but we are also stretching the lower back and the feet. At some point, stay with 2 legs straight. Either foot up, front foot up, or down, up to you. Then round your body onto the front leg. So this is a wide-legged pyramid pose. If you want a challenge here, you can lift one hand maybe, and then the other. If not, keep them on the ground. On your next exhale, come back to runners. And this time around, bring the left hand next to the right hand and come to a twist. Right hand up in the air. So we're just twisting opposite sides. Frame the front leg. Push it to plank. Hold plank for 3 breaths, or not, it's up to you. Straighten that back. Think about the water cup, or the cup of water. Just think of it there, and be still. Use your breath. Chaturanga Dandasana is next. Push forward, halfway down, upward dog. Take your time, and downward dog. Nice. Walk the dog or do whatever you need. Come to stillness. Left leg goes up. Lift the right leg, the heel, bend it and step it in between your hands, all in a nice flow. And once again, start playing around with lifting the toes, straightening the front leg, and lowering the back heel. So bending forward and back. Keep those hips square. At some point, come to a stable stand, either with the foot up or down, up to you. And then start rounding your back onto the front leg. One more breath here, and then try maybe to challenge yourself, lifting the hands. Release the hands, release the foot if it was up. Bend the front leg, come to runners, leave the right hand next to the left foot this time, and open the left hand to the sky to a normal or the most common twist in runners. Please pay attention to your knee. Don't let it open, go around, stacked over your heel. By the way, my shoulder is stacked over my wrist as well. And release the left hand, frame the front leg, push the left leg to plank, hold it for 3 breaths. Engage those lax muscles under your shoulder blades. Tuck the tailbone in, engage the glutes, you're getting stronger. And now come to your forearms. Stay here 3 more breaths. Same work here, we're just closer to the ground. So now I'm pushing the elbows in the mat, into the mat. Breathe, suck the belly in. And then release those thighs to the mat. Untuck your toes, come to Sphinx, and maybe to full seal. If you do come to full seal, engage the glutes. Open that back, roll the shoulders down, maybe look up. Stretch the core. And then come to the mat. A nice breath before pushing yourself to table and to downward dog. On your next inhale, right leg goes up in the air. Lift the back heel, bend the leg into your chest, step it in between your hands, lower that back heel, come to warrior 2. Straightening the front leg again.
Bring the right hand over your head. Bring the left hand to hold the wrist. And this is like reverse warrior on steroids the other way. Yes. So you are kind of pulling the hand. You're opening the side. But at the same time, creating a bend in the left. And bring back to warrior two, bending the front leg. Next, pushing into balancing moon pose. So if you don't have a block, water bottle will do just fine, or nothing. Some people don't need it. So we are pushing forward first into the right hand, and then shifting weight into the right leg, coming to half moon, balancing pose. Maybe you hold the bottle, maybe not. In any case, don't push into whatever it is there. Just have it as help. One more breath, open that chest. Bend the standing leg, release the back leg back, but in conjugation with a little bit of a dance, come to high lunge. So you're twisting the back leg on its toes. You're coming to high lunge. Nice. And then once again, shifting forward, coming to airplane. This time, opening the chest, looking forward. So we're strengthening the right leg. Whoops. And if you come out of it, just as I did, come back up. One more breath. Bend the standing leg. Bring the left leg to meet the right to chair. Breathe and tuck the tailbone in. Option to release yourself to forward fold if it's too much, always available to you. And on your next inhale, either stay resting or come to a standing position. Hands up and to heart center. So not an easy sequence. Great job, everybody. Towel, drink of water. Do whatever you need to reset. So, leave that next to you. We have the other side. Every time you finish one side, you go, yeah, and then, the other one. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Take a moment to stay here. Engage the glutes and drop back a little bit. Not a full back bend, just a release to the chest. And then come on down to forward fold with your breath hinging from the hips. Make it a slow one. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Jump to plank maybe. Not holding this time, Chaturanga Dandasana, straight to downward dog. Nice. 2 breaths here. Come back to lowering your heart rate, enjoying the sweat. And on your next inhale, right leg goes up in the air. Lift the back heel, bend it, drop it in between your hands, lower the back heel and come to warrior two. We're doing 2 poses here, straightening the left leg and coming to sky archer. Now sky archer is reversing the warriors on steroids. So we hold the wrist and we pull. Not too much, don't yank it. But make it a more stretch to the right side and tuck in that right side.
Then come back to warrior two and make adjustments in order to come to side halfway moon balancing pose. Okay? Did I do the same leg? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, people at home. So yeah, because I probably said, but I did the other leg. So switch legs, prepare yourself, and come to halfway balancing pose. So the way I do it is I'm bending the front leg, shifting my weight first, stopping here. Okay, I'm good. Then I start hinging, holding my water bottle or block, and then the work starts. So I'm opening the side of my body to the side of the room, not clenching into the water bottle, just there for support. And then I try to stack the shoulders one on top of the other. And open that leg. Bend the standing leg, come back to almost warrior two, but straight away with a nice dancing pose, come back to high lunge. Shift your weight forward and come to airplane. Strong sequence for a strong leg. Hold it and breathe. Open that chest. Focus. And then bend the standing leg. Come to chair. Hands can do whatever, your choice. We're here for 3 to 4 breaths. So take your time. Tuck the tailbone in chair. And maybe come lower. Just saying. Just hold it here. Tuck the tailbone in. That engages the core. Open the shoulders. I like to push my hands one against the other, so I'm opening my chest even more. One more breath. Suck the belly in. Be strong. Mula Bandha. And on your next exhale, come up. And heart center. Beautiful. A back bend is available to you because it's really nice after this sequence. And anything else you need. How are we doing, you guys? Good? Yeah? Excellent. So I guess I didn't kill you with half moon and airplane right off the bat. I'm happy. All right. Now we're standing maybe half of the mat or so. Inhale, circle sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, jump to plank. And hold it for 3 breaths. Some side planks. And that are my favorite. So bring those feet together to touch. Tuck the tailbone in is key to all planks. Then bring the left hand to the center of your mat. Then drop the heels to the back so you can open the right hand up. Now pay attention to your foundation. If you're not stacking shoulder over your wrists, move a little bit. Then push those hips up. Don't crunch the shoulders. If you need more, elbow to knee. Maybe grab your foot and open. Maybe. Then release, elbow to knee. Release to side plank. Come back to plank. So we have the other side, you guys. Tuck that tailbone in, breathe. Who could have thought, right? That plank is a resting pose. Take it to the other side. Right hand to the center. Drop those heels back. Left hand up. Roll those shoulders down. Nice. One breath, push those hips up. Bend elbow to knee.
Hold it and stay still. If you can, straighten the leg. Push those hips up. Bend with your breath. Stay. Come back to plank. So with control, just tell your muscles, you can do this. One more breath in plank. And release to the mat. Take a breather. Enjoy a mini shavasana here. Whatever it needs. A few more of these wholesome breaths. Lower your heart rate. It's all about that game of indulging your heart in a really strong sequence and then lowering it down to a rest. And on your next inhale, interlace fingers behind your sacrum and come to half locust. So I'm activating the legs, but I'm opening the chest, looking forward or down. Intention of the pose is to roll the shoulders back and release. Take a breather. Two more breaths. Next back bend can be a full locust. So you can either interlace the fingers behind your sacrum as we did before and add the legs, or just hold the legs back, the hands back. All right? Big breath in. And come to flight. Hold it up. One more breath. And release. Windshield the legs if you need. Rotate cheeks. Just enjoy the sweat, you guys. We're all in puddles of sweat. Puddles. Breathe deeply. Make every breath a restorative one. Last back bend. You can come to full bow, stay in locust, or stay in half locust. So those are the stations, okay? Great. If you're coming to full bow, then grab hold of your foot with your hands. Flex the feet if you want. And on your next breath, you choose what it is. Pull up. Kick those legs into your hand. Now, keep those knees together. Open the chest. Maybe rock back and forth. One more breath. And release. Woo, open your hands to a T. Bring the right cheek to the mat. Breathe. Whew. That's next, Gloria. That's exactly next. You read my mind, Corina. So there's this stretch that I really like. It's called scorpion stretch. I'm gonna cue it. It's really good after core work. So guys, remember that. So hands in a T. Right cheek on the mat. Bend the left leg. And then lift the left leg a little bit and start rotating it to the back. Yes, you're doing it right. Then grab hold of it. Exactly. Now, two things. Try to bring the foot to the mat and release the head.
That's it. So good. Open the chest, stretches the core, maybe engages also the glutes if you lift that knee up, and just breathe. And then release slowly, slowly back in onto your belly. And take it to the other side. So left cheek on the mat, bend the right leg, lift it up, and start rolling it onto your left shoulder. You're rolling on it, bringing it to the mat behind you, and then right hand holds the leg. Now it can be the foot, the shin, anything, but release the head. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Such a beautiful pose. Again, it's not yoga, but it's a beautiful stretch, especially to the shoulders after holding us in downward dog so many times. And with your breath, you can open the knee a little bit more. So hips are in the game too. And bring it back. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Push yourself to table. Maybe some back bends like cats and cows. Maybe wagging the tail. Again, it's your practice, so do whatever you need. It could be that you need to go straight to child's pose and breathe. I like to drop the hips and look back. I do all kind of somatic movements, and if you don't know what somatic is, it's just swaying. That's it. You sway with your body, and it's something we are all capable of and need, like the babies. We just grow out of it, and it's a shame. And now come to hero's pose. So we did a lot of core today in the side planks, but I am going to do a core sitting up. Very gentle core, really no impact. This is the whole thing. Now you can decide how much you hold it or how much you pump in it. It's not going to be a long core anyways. So you can either open the knees or keep them closed. If you have tender knees, then put something under so you're not, if you don't have anything, fold your mat. And on your next inhale, just come up as if coming to camel. We're not going to camel. Engage the glutes. Option to put hands on your hips or on the back of your sacrum. Either way, you keep one line between the knees and the crown of your head. Now you can tuck your toes under or not. No difference whatsoever. Tuck the tailbone in, open the chest, and lean back. So you're using your quads, but you're also using the core. So we're here, not back rounding the back, just holding straight. You want, you can do zombie hands. Roll those shoulders back. We're gonna pump 10 times down. So 10, 9, keep those glutes working. 7, 8, 6. I went downward. Doesn't matter. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And release to child's pose. So that is all the core we have, ladies. Nothing more. Just breathe. So a lot of thighs, but also if you tuck the pelvis in, you have that mula bandha, that lower core work. And just breathe. One more wholesome breath, and then push to table. Now, next is pigeon. You can come to pigeon from downward dog, which is pushing those hips up, right leg up, and then the knee comes in between. your hands. Or you can do supine pigeon, which is on your back, bending the right leg on top of the left. Whatever is good for your body, the same work is done. We're opening the hip, okay? So you do you. We're here for a few breaths. It's a long stretch, so take your time. Maybe you come all the way down to the mat, or maybe not. Either way, release. Surrender to the mat, surrender to your breath, surrender to the sweat, to those feelings of, oh my God, this is too hard. If it is, just stop and breathe. If it isn't, challenge yourself. Two more wholesome breaths here before we come out of it, so take your time. Release the shoulders, your face, your back leg. And if you are in pigeon like I am, not supine pigeon on your back, then come all the way up and stay. And if you are on your back, you can join or just wait. Keep on stretching. Rise up and then bend the back leg. Bring the left hand to grab hold of the left leg and straighten the right hand. So I'm stretching the same muscles we worked in that little core before. Nice. Now if you are very bendy, bring it to your bum bum, but try to keep that open chest to the front. And then release. And bring yourself to butterfly. I call butterfly, but it's bound angel. Soles of your feet together. You can do it on your back, exactly, Gloria. And just open, flap, flap, flap the wings. You may walk a little bit forward, exactly, Corina. Maybe stretch that forward, that inside of the thighs. And then come on back up to center. Bring those legs together. Position yourself in table. And downward dog. If you're doing traditional pigeon, if you're on your back, just go and dive into supine pigeon or figure 4. So lift that left leg up. Right? Now it's the left, right? Bring the knee in between your hands. Set it up. So the way I set it up is my thigh and my back leg is parallel to the sides of the mat. That's more or less what I need. And then I open myself to the front and release slowly with my breath down. Any modification is welcomed. Any. 5 breaths here. Take your time and pace yourself in letting go. Open that left hip. But open it not by pushing it or telling it to be open. Open the left hip by letting everything else relax. The pose is going to come. Beautiful breathing, you guys. One more wholesome breath here. People on the back, stay on your back. Keep on working on that opening of the hip. And people in pigeon, start rising up slowly and with respect, you guys. So I always come out of it really slow. And then bend the right leg behind you. Bring the right hand to hold it so you're stretching your quad. Yep. And the right hand, I support myself because I have a tendency to fall to the side and I don't want it. One more breath here. Lower those shoulders. And then release with control. Don't let it fall and hit the mat. And bring the soles of the feet together again. People on the back, do it lying down. Just open. Option to go forward to a forward fold over your feet. Or just stay here and maybe a twist or two. It feels good. I'm doing the twists. And then, whenever you're ready, maybe drink of water. The water bottle is calling me. Maybe the towel. And then, when you're ready, come to beach day. I call this pose beach day. So the straight legs in front of you, and I'm coming to my forearms. That's it. And then I release the legs, release the head, collapse completely opposite to whatever I say during the class. Just collapse into my shoulders. The shoulder blades are completely crunched, and I'm just stacking myself over my elbows. Now, this is not healthy for a long time, but it's good for just relax for a moment, right? Option 2, maybe move the head from side to side just to feel the neck. It's pretty warm now. If you do this when you're not warm, you're gonna throw your back, your upper back or your neck. So don't do that if you're not warm. But now it just feels good. And then relax yourself to the mat and open your feet to the width of the mat and bend the legs. So the feet are on the mat, legs are bent, and just position yourself in a nice place, comfortable. Then drop the legs from one side to the other just a few times. And then come to eagle legs. So the right leg is going to go over the left and then wrap around. Okay? Bring it to your chest and hold it. This is so good for the hips and the pelvis. This is stabilizing everything after a hard work. So you can grab hold of your knees. If you are wondering, what am I saying? Just look at me. And you can bring it in a little bit. Not necessity, but just a nice stretch. Feels really good. If it doesn't, by the way, come out of it. And then release the legs down, and as they are, drop them to the right. Now again, if this is not available to you, then unwrap the legs and just put them to one side, okay? It's up to you. I'm working here on the hip flexors, on the side obelisks, on the glutes, obviously on the thighs, but mainly hip flexors. Now, as usual, try to relax the other half of the body that is not working. So the right bum, let it go. Don't crunch it up. Nice. Bring it back to center and now drop them to the left. Again, modify anything to your needs, because sometimes knees are not healthy or heels. You do you. But with the added weight, it feels just very nice
on the left upper side of the back, of the thoracic spine. But again, leave those shoulders on the mat and relax. Anything that doesn't need to work. Hold some breaths here. Don't forget about the oxygen, building up the muscle after the hard work. Feed your body what it needs. And bring it all back up slowly using the core. Unravel the legs and let's take it to the other side. So left leg goes over the right, tangles around like eagle legs, and then bring them to your chest. Now you find where it's comfortable to you and then hold the knees. I like to pull the knees in once I'm holding them. I feel an extra layer of stretch in my left side, not only the right. So that's always an option. And just breathe. Bring them back to the center, release from holding, and drop them to the left. So the whole trick here is not to care about how it looks, just how it feels. And then using your core, so crunch the belly in, and once you crunch it in, the legs come back to center on their own, and then drop them to the right. Again, don't care how you look. Care how it feels. And how much can you let go of? One more breath. And on your exhale, tuck that belly in, bring the legs up. That's all you have to do. Release the leg. Maybe windshield them just because, I don't know, it will feel nice. Or maybe bring the soles of your feet together and open the legs once more. Whatever you need to just feel that movement, feel that opening in the hips. And then bring the feet once again to the mat, but this time straighten your hands and see if your fingers can touch the heels. Just touch them. That's where they need to be. Hip distance apart and hands on the mat. Tuck the tailbone in and come to a baby bridge, nothing more, halfway up. And then tuck the chin in. So you are targeting the S6 and 7, the cervical spine, that humpy, lumpy thing between our upper shoulders where the traps are. So keep on tucking the chin in and then roll the shoulders on the mat. So actively open your shoulders up, maybe palms of your hands facing up. And now start pushing the back of your head into the mat. So this is a different bridge. We're holding and tucking the tailbone in, but the activation is in the upper spine. Push that back of your head into the mat. Open the shoulders, straightening that neck. Release it down. Release everything. Maybe windshield the legs again. One more set of that. It's a very, very restorative pose for the neck. We tend to drop the head forward all the time, looking at our phones, sitting down on the computer. This is medicine for it.
So again, check your heels with your fingertips, set it up, come to half bridge, nothing more. So we're doing this just to engage the core. And then open the shoulders, maybe roll the hands, the palms of your hands to the ceiling, tuck your chin in, open those shoulders some more so your shoulder blades are flat on the mat. And once you've done that, push the back of your head into the mat, as if the back of your head is holding you in this pose. It's not, but as if. And release. Release the legs. Big breath here. And then bring the right leg onto your chest. Interlace fingers on the shin, and a little bit of wind removing pose. Nothing too shabby, too fancy, I meant to say. Just relax. Such an excellent restorative pose. Option here, if you have a block, to put it under your sacrum and come to an extended wind removing. So you're kind of on top of the block, still doing wind removing, but pushing those hips up. Only if you have a healthy lower back. And take it to the other side. Three breaths here in wind removing pose, just engaging in this beautiful opening of the hips. But the other thing that really happens here is gentle massage to your inner organs. And that's why almost all yoga classes finish with this. There's a lot of internal work that is happening. And release it down to the mat. Do whatever you need. I like to bring both legs to the mat, to the chest, and give myself a hug, and then just rock from side to side. Option here to come to happy baby, which is basically the same, just open the legs and hold your feet. Some people need to do some stretching of the legs, exactly. Straightening the legs in happy baby, or coming to snow plow as Corina is doing. Whatever it is, take the time to take those little jittery energies of movement that are still in your body, let them manifest themselves. So when you come to Shavasana, it's a complete relaxation. So do whatever you need. And maybe what you need is just come down to Shavasana, and that's it. That's it for today. We also need to know when to stop, right? It's like a painting. You paint and you paint, and you can forever keep on painting on it. But at some point, it's ready. So be ready to rest. And be ready to come back to the breath work, which is basically the frame
for everything we do. So keep that breath active and yet relaxed. A few breaths in complete silence. And if your mind wandered, call him back or her. And start the descent back into your body, into this moment on the mat. But allow yourself to think of nothing but lying down on the mat. Allow yourself to do nothing at least once a day. And then wiggle your toes a little bit, just feeling the body again. Wiggling your toes, your fingers, introducing some movement again, maybe a big breath in and letting it go, maybe hands over your head for a nice stretch. And then roll to one side to a fetal position, which is comfort and love and security, and push yourself slowly to a seated position as we started. And as usual, my heart is full, and I never take for granted the fact that people actually practice with me. So for that I say namaste. And have a great week, you guys. Yay! I'm gonna close the internet. Bye. Bye-bye, guys. Of course.